following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. As always, we come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on? Well, today we had kind of a little hiccup earlier in the day. Kind of interesting. It's one of those, the press thought they finally had that rascally rabbit, President Trump, and of course it all turned to dust in a matter of an hour, hour and a half. Lots of people saying they got him, they got him, they got him. And then his son released all the emails that show they don't got him, they don't got him, they don't got him. And that took all of a couple hours to siphon through that there was a whole lot of nothing burger yet again as a press destined to overthrow the president. But anyway, we were down to 24.13 on the S&P cash. And, of course, that they came out, said that everything happened. Within about 30 minutes, all the emails were exchanged that were exchanged in the whole incident were put out. Are they? Do they make anybody look good? The answer is no. Are there any illegal, anything illegal in it? Because it turned out to be just, I'll put it this way. There was a guy that's a kind of a Don King kind of guy, not in the fighting business in England. His job is to put people with other people, even though those people don't want to be anywhere close. So he told a giant whopper that he had evidence of collusion between the then Clintons and the the Attorney General in the ongoing case about the servers. And so what did they do? They said, okay, we'll hear what you have to say on it. And, of course, it was a big lie to get them in front of this lady that wanted to change the laws so that more people in the U.S. could adopt Russian babies. And that basically is the end of it. They said they had all kinds of proof of illegal acts by Mrs. Clinton. It was all just a big lie so that they could get this one lady who does adoptions for Russian kids in front of this lady. Everybody left within about 5 or 10 minutes of the meeting starting, and that was it. So big lie told to get somebody in front of somebody, and that was the job of this guy who's kind of a nutty Don King-like guy in the UK. And that's about the end of it. Nothing happened. No information was exchanged. The lady got her 2 minutes in front of one of the sons of Mr. Trump, and he's already sent all the emails out that he had with the exchange. So is it a great thing for the Donald? No. Is it a distraction? Yes, which is all that matters now for, of course, the entrenched Washington, D.C. media, who we're now going on a year without any evidence, but it does not matter. I just think it will be like the boy who cried wolf. Eventually, maybe they'll find something and no one will pay any attention to it. We've got markets off 1 point on the S&P cash. And, of course, we were down about, 13, 14 points lower on the S&P after the bait and switch article that basically was a whole lot of nothing. I mean, these are kind of ongoing things now. Kind of reminds me when they did about 3 months of that missing Malaysian plane with no evidence. And there was always another day where they had a bunch of evidence and there was no evidence. And eventually everybody just kind of gave up on it, but it sold a few eyeballs for a while. We get that kind of on a daily basis now. Sometimes the market reacts, sometimes it doesn't. I'm just wondering if there's any collusion between the people at these newspapers and maybe some of the cable stations and people in the trading market business that go and push this stuff when there's nothing to it. Man, you think maybe they could make some decent money when this market's there's not much going on in it. I mean, they used to do it. It used to be between the financial press. I'm wondering if there's a bigger collusion between maybe some of those cable stations and a few of those New York newspapers and people on Wall Street to kind of try to get this market moving. As we say, we're just off 1 point now. So there's not a lot going on. Not back to the lows or not back to the highs either. So, what can you say? We're off 1 point. As always, we like to start this day off with a little bit of history repeating.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
What else do we have? Oh, on this day in 1979, I know where I was. I don't know if you knew where you were. I was, in a few hours at a Skylab party that ran almost all that Wednesday night. Skylab, the first space station, comes crashing down on Australia and into the Indian Ocean 5 years after the last manned Skylab mission ended. No one was injured. Launched in 1973, Skylab was one of the first successful space stations. The first manned Skylab mission came 2 years after the Soviet Union launched its Salyut 1, the first space station. But although the Russians lied quite a bit, was never successful. They were always saying they were up there for 30 days and would be up there for 5 days and something would break and they'd have to come back down. And they would just repeat that they came down 25 days later and it was a successful mission. We found out a lot of this stuff after the wall came down and the Soviet Union fell apart. Unlike the ill-fated Salyut missions, which were plagued with problems, the American space station was a great success, safely housing three separate three-man crews for extended periods of time, and led, of course, eventually that knowledge led to the ISS, which every couple of days here I see, maybe every 7 days I see go over Florida. You can see it with your bare eye. It goes about 5 times faster than a jet across the sky. That's how you know it's a satellite. But kind of interesting to know that we've had people up there for years living off the U.S. But I will always remember the giant parties. It was an excuse to get drunk, and even at 19, I was finding parties to go to. I know exactly where it was, and what I was doing that day, up until about 8 or 9 o'clock, and then I don't think I remember it yet. But it was an excuse for a good party, and I think that year, see Cinco de Mayo, Skylab. I think if there was any other good parties that year, I'd remember both of those. Good year for a party, 1979. We'll be back after this.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And what else do we have going on? Well, this is a distant memory. We're right back to where we started before all the hijinks and hubbubaloo. If you call today at 877-927-6648, try to work in the word hullabaloo, since it's not used nearly enough. 24.25, we're off 1.5 points. Of course, I suspect and wrote in my newsletter this morning that I think that we're probably on hold until we get into Friday. Some news may move this market. But my guess is that I don't see anything coming out of any of this stuff. And more than likely, we're looking at JP Morgan, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, PNC Bank, and Infosystem on Friday. We went through the whole list yesterday. But, Friday starts it. We're going to have a full slate of earnings next week, and that's probably much more likely to move the markets. Volume was absolutely horrifically bad yesterday as we pushed higher. The only thing I couldn't figure out, and I had added shorts yesterday around noon, closed them just before the end of the day. I was thinking, even though we did kind of pull back off the highs, I was thinking with as bad as the advanced decline line was, as bad as everything was, we should have been down 15 points yesterday, and we were not, which made me think maybe I've been looking at this 24.23 to 24.33 area as kind of where we're stuck. This happened a few times last year. We talked about the doldrums, which are the areas around the equator where the wind kind of just stops. And in the days of sailing ships, you might spend a couple of weeks going nowhere. And relating it to it as that, we may be very close to that. And that unless we get some kind of good readout here for what's happening. And again, these are not going to be big winners in the export business. In fact, most of the companies next week still are not going to be big winners in the export business. So the Weakened dollar, probably not going to change a great deal of what's going on for these companies unless they're trading the dollar themselves. And I don't know if that's going to be that big a deal either. But really not gone that wide. Probably the only thing interesting to me is the SOX and the SMHs look like they've kind of broken through what should have been fairly decent resistance at like the SMH. We'll look at it in a minute. And they're a little higher than that. We'll see if there's any kind of juice or if this is just a big or a bigger ABC on the way down. I thought that they could just fail here. This looks like they're going to bounce up a little bit. A lot of articles and press. We had a lot of people calling about NVIDIA yesterday, beating the drum. There is a lot of euphoria in this market, even though the market's not moving very far. Anything below a 24.25 close on the S&P cash tends to be rather bearish, and it closed below 24.23. I suspect actually flips the switch to the bear mode. So maybe the market's starting to look forward to what could be some good numbers for and maybe projections for exporters. And of course, a lot of people doing business here in the U.S. probably not doing that well. So compared to predictions of their EPS is what I'm thinking. Because, of course, all those went up over the last earnings cycle, and everybody moved those earnings ahead, even though they've moved them back. I wonder if they can actually even get to that level. Anyway, that's it for the snooze today. If news breaks, I'm here to fix it, and I think we did. So what we need to do now is get into some of these charts. I wanted to look at Tesla here fairly quickly. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. And the word of the day is hubbubaloo. How do you spell that anyway? Okay, I wanted to look at Tesla real quick. Tesla did ship their first car, which is kind of interesting. Larry Pesavento, a couple of months ago, was in Hong Kong, and he said that he saw a lot of new Teslas everywhere. For the last 3 months, the number of sales for Tesla in Hong Kong, wait for it, 0. Yes, 0 sales for the last 3 months. The reason why was there was a huge government subsidy that cut taxes on them, and they were about 75,000 U.S. For the last day of, or for the first day of April 1st. After that, there was no more subsidies. They now cost $135,000. So again, depending on where you go around the world, it's kind of interesting to see the story of Tesla, especially now that many from Germany, Norway, Sweden are all cutting off all the huge subsidies and or lack of taxes, which are, if you've ever been to those countries, the taxes are absolutely enormous. Sometimes you pay twice as much. I've talked to people from Australia, and if you pay $30,000 for a Toyota here, you'll pay $60,000 for it down in Australia. And all of that being taxes, by the way, or most of the difference being taxes. Anyway, we're up today. Volume's okay. But again, we've had these 3 big down days. I suspect that maybe we get one more gap down. I suspect that while we may be making an ABC, that ABC is certainly going to take this thing back to about 280 on Tesla. Wanted to look at IBM because it had been the stock that really hadn't moved at all. I haven't looked at it in a couple of days. Wanted to see if anything was going on out there. This one just continued to go sideways for 15 days. Did break, goes lower, kind of in this lower trading range around 153 now. But again, I'm not going to say you can get any kind of clue out here. I will cover this in the presentation I'm going to give on the 19th for subscribers to the Tech Insider and the Path of Least Resistance. I'll be doing a big hootenanny on machine learning. We've talked a little bit about that yesterday. I think maybe that preceded a few calls for NVIDIA and Intel. We'll get into that a little deeper. So if you really want to understand what machine learning is, how it works, and the companies involved in it, who's going to profit, I kind of liking this right now, machine learning, to about 1983 in the computer department. There are so many ways you can go with this. It's going to be big. IBM is focusing on big clients, and we'll see how that works. A lot of other people are not focusing on big clients. They're more looking at web services and maybe the different flavors of machine learning that there are. But I'll go through all of that in that presentation on the 19th. I think we're probably going to start talking about it on TFNN tomorrow. And you'll have a week to sign up for that. But you'll get to that. And then in August, maybe around the 1st of September, we'll be talking about how to use it and how much better it is than typical technical analysis tools that have been around for generations. We'll be back after this.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And if we're back, I was looking at IBM. You just got kind of a big, almost a dragonfly style doji out here, but I imagine we're probably going to see a lot of those by the end of the day. Volume is up a little higher than it was yesterday, probably because of that dip lower. Since we got to about 24, 21 on the rebound, there hasn't been much volume. All that pretty much happened a little earlier. 1.9 billion shares on the NYSE. Oh, okay. Just trying to figure out. Okay, cool. Just a confirmation of what value added and border adjustment taxes do to all the products. Just huge, almost double the price on some items depending on where you go in the world. Okay, so we got IBM out there. I wanted to look at some others. Let's go out here to some of these and take a look and see if we have anything new. Wanted to look at the advancers. Or a few one out here. Hertz. A few of these kind of bouncing out here today a little higher. Hertz Global Holdings, this thing has been on a one-way trip lower. Finally did bottom on June 21st, 852. That bottom hasn't really been tested. You had a kind of a sign of strength out here on the 26th of June, and it's just kind of gone sideways. Another little pop higher. Volume is slightly better. I don't like shorting stocks under $30, but my guess is this thing's going to head to about 14 bucks where it's going to find massive resistance. What else do we have? ARNA is another mover out here. Arena Pharmaceuticals. This one, big sign of strength, probably some kind of news on it. But just about everything you want. Cara Therapeutics, a little lower out here. CNX, Console Energy, a little bounce in this one. The volume probably should be better than this. You're probably looking for 5 million shares. Got about 2.2 million shares on this one as it comes back up to the resistance level. See what else we have out here. Anything that really, I think this is Rent-A-Center. This is kind of a good example of when the economy is starting to pull back and the weakest players in the economy have to go to something like Rent-A-Center or one of those other pay-as-you-go places to get air conditioners and washers and dryers and TVs. Big bounce on this one today, so I'm going to take a little harder look to see whether or not the least paid among us are having bigger problems. But a nice bounce in this. 5.3 million shares are already going in to the June 8th high. Now, it gave back some of what we have out here, but this looks like it has one more big gap in it. There's a big gap at 10 bucks. We got this gap from yesterday to today, which would be one gap. So look for one more gap up this to make it a three-gap play, but it looks like that one may have one more left in it. Sears Holding perpetually going broke. I think I'll have to fix that data. So give it a second. Tell us about Tom Steyer. What about Tom Steyer? What do you want to know? And why do you want to know about him? Okay, Sears Holding. Maybe it's just not. Oh, that guy. Yeah. I don't know if there's that much to say about him. He's pretty quiet. Yeah, he's one of those guys. But so quiet that you don't see much of him. And probably the way you should do it if you're a big mouth billionaire. Sears Holding, SHLD. This made it back up to $14.32. They keep closing stores, which always reminds me of the joke. The guy's sitting with the sitting in first class. He's a pretty smart guy. Someone's sitting next to him, kind of dopey, and they're flying across the ocean. And they go along, and about 30 minutes into the 7-hour flight, one of the engine conks out, and the pilot comes on and goes, you know what? We had one engine go out, but this plane has 4 engines. We're on a 747. And this plane, can actually fly on just one engine, so not a problem. Sit back, enjoy yourself. We're going to go a little slower, though, so just figure we're going to be an hour late getting in. We go along a little bit, another hour or so, and then pretty soon you see some flames from another engine. And they put that fire out. Captain comes on and goes, this plane can fly on only one engine. We still have two. There's no problem. But we're going to be about 3 hours late because we got to go a little slower with these two engines. And they fly a little longer. And pretty soon, yet another engine conks out. Pilot comes on and goes, you know what? We had another engine conk out, but don't worry, we've still got the one engine. It's very good. That's the best engine we have, and it's the newest, and it should do just fine. But we're going to be going a little slower, so we're going to be, 6 hours late. And the dopey guy turns to the smart guy and says, you know what? If that last engine goes out, we're going to be up here all day. And that's kind of the way I think people are looking at Sears. Can you close so many stores that you become profitable? I think you can, but what if they're all unprofitable and you're losing money on every single one? Why are you still in business? Why don't you just close the doors and save what money you have? Well, there's a whole reason for that, and that is if you're a big investor in Sears and things turn against you, the first thing that you do is not sell your shares and say, oh, it's trouble's here. You hire a guy like Joey Dunlap, who had the Sunbeam thing. He comes in and cooks the books. They hire a press agent, and they keep telling everybody how things are going to change. If you're somebody like BlackBerry and the business is left, you sitting in the dust, there's still a lot of money out there, even at whatever it is, $7.50 today for Sears. You get back on the stick. You tell all kinds of stories. You get Kramer to say that, you know what, we've got all these places and we own the leases for forever. We're a land bank. And you get to telling everybody the next big story until that story doesn't pan out. And then you cook up yet another story. And eventually you kind of work yourself out of all those shares. And you have a lot of bag holders. And that's when the stock pretty much runs under. But there's two things going on now. A CEO that's going to continue to get paid as long as he can stay in business, and big shareholders wanting to get out. I call these stocks the living dead stocks, and they can do, especially when stocks are 50% short, like we see in Sears, we'll see in others. In fact, another stock that this short is Snap. We'll look at that when we come back. That thing snapped yesterday under the IPO price, so we'll take a look at it. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
John Logan has been hard at work making the TAS Profile Scanner Plus the best it can be, and he'll be hosting a special hour-long webinar for all TAS Profile Scanner Plus subscribers this Wednesday, July 12th from 5 till 6 p.m. Eastern. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to this amazing piece of software. See for yourself how it tracks 5,000 financial instruments in real time, over 17 different stock exchanges, U.S. futures, and currencies. This piece of software will change the way you trade, and it can be used with any trading methodology. The combination of price and volume is what makes market profile-based analysis so unique. We've opened up a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus, even if you've had a trial before, so now is a great time to sign up. You also gain access to John's July 12th webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profile Unique. Sign up for your free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right now on the front page of TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And, well, we got gold up $2. Wow, that's exciting. Silver up 15 cents. It is a kind of a quiet day out here. Copper up 2 cents, which is probably one of the bigger movers out here, but it's still $2.67. So not a lot going on there, and natural gas is over $3 again. So it may be finding some kind of base around this $3 level. And we're probably about 4 weeks away from it probably making some kind of summertime low. So start paying attention a little bit. A lot of times going through the fall is not a bad time to pick up some natural gas for other things. Anyway, we're talking about SNAP. It did pop lower. Interestingly, much lighter volume so far than the May 11th slap down. That got to $17.59 with 131 million shares. Today we're down. Volume has picked up, but just 32 million shares. So this thing may find some bottom. What's interesting in this one, to me, is not shorting it, because things like of the available float is 50% short. It is catching this one when they run those shorts, and my God, this is one of the fattest cows in the land. So I keep an eye on it. I haven't seen anything that says this thing's bottomed out yet, but just not if anything changes, just if nothing gets any worse. This thing could rip $5-6 in a couple of days with that many shorts in it. And again, one of the things, nothing's really changed since it came on. The one thing we are looking forward to, and you should on any of these IPOs that fail, are when the lockup period is over. And this one, September 29th, the lockup period ends. So you want to keep an eye on that one. This one may be under pressure all the way through September. But these are the kind of stocks that I keep an eye on. And if you can catch them when they are ready to turn, and you know that you've got half of the float out there is short, that is something that you can make a whole lot of money in a very short period of time. We've covered how they manipulate these stocks, especially in the past. That is that big holders of SNAP that are required to hold this probably not going to like that they're underwater on the IPO price. But one of the things that they can do is move the shares that they have from margin accounts to non-margin accounts, and cause a lot of those shares to actually be called back. And that's one of the reasons why you avoid stocks that are literally 50% short of the available float, like Snap. These things are like the Sirens song, getting the sailors to come in and eventually crash on the rocks. And normally when you're short these things, you're wrong the next day hugely and in a big way. So just keeps keep an eye on that. Anyway, not much happening in the markets. Like I said, it's fairly quiet, 24.25. If we were to close lower, I think that would be a fairly decent signal after trying to push this market higher. More than likely, we're here come Friday morning, and we start looking at earnings, and everybody's not wanting to buy the breakouts, but at the same time, they want to buy any pullbacks. I think at best, it's a wash for earnings, and that may set up what certainly looks like a very weak market. That no one wants to buy higher prices, but everybody wants to buy the pullback. Let's see if there's anything else out here. TXMD. Again, you can email me at path@tfnn.com. Okay. So we've got a email here about talking about taxes, and that is states also have woke up to the fact that electric vehicles are paying no gas tax and are now putting an EV tax in place for road use and repair. Yeah, for the most part, there's not enough of them outside of California and kind of the left coast and a handful of East Coast states. I mean, there's a lot of people just don't really know. We were talking about it getting to 120 degrees out in Arizona last week, and I brought up that the Teslas, because of the battery temperatures, can cause fires, will turn off when it gets so hot. And I read about some of the cars literally going to the garage, turning the car and saying it's too hot to actually drive it. You know, there's some very good things about EVs, and there's some kind of bad things. Almost all the bad things have to do with batteries. Everything else is great. That there's batteries involved always is the fly in the ointment. But yeah, markets eventually adapt. And of course, there's nothing worse than someone not being taxed if you're a politician. We looked at that. We looked at that. Let's take a look at, hang on a second, we'll look at this. Which is, okay. So we've got LMAT, gap down fairly large yesterday. Le Matre, what is that? I didn't take French. Le Matre Vascular? Who knows how it's pronounced? Big gap down yesterday, had some volume, a little pop, filled about half that gap today. This one kind of got into its previous highs with less than high the volume. Yesterday we did, or a couple of days ago, we did 123,000. There was a big push going back to April 27th that had 572,000 shares, kind of one of the big day. You actually had a big spike out here that set the high at almost 3 million shares on the 2nd of May. So we've kind of gotten up into that area. There was no volume. The thing fell apart. Let's take a look at the IBB. These things kind of look like they were kind of setting up for some disappointment. You know, you had your kind of a short spike. This thing has come back down to about 310. So not looking too bad. Volume today, 762,000. This is one that didn't move much on the news, just kind of going sideways on $310. What do you got? You got 323 with almost 4 million shares. You had 640,000 shares yesterday, 762,000 so far today. This one is one of these. I mean, you're basically $10 above a massive sell signal on this. This thing goes under $303 again. This may just be a false breakout to the upside. Looks pretty good. I mean, that 5 million share day on the 21st of June looked fairly good, but since then, there just hasn't been, when you go through the IBB stocks, there just hasn't been a lot to it. Again, Kellogg's. Well, what do you think on Kellogg's? Are we hitting the bottom somewhere around 60, 62? Look at this one a little bit longer. I've been thinking that these stocks would turn up if the market's going to turn down. There's some nice gaps down there around 60, 62. We will look at that when we return. Still have plenty of time to give me a call at 877-927-6648.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of The Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're looking at Kellogg's. Had a question in the den. This thing's come down on more energy than it popped back up. If you look at the May 3rd to the June 14th high, you had about 20% more energy on the way down from that 74.28 to the 65.39. I was hoping that maybe we'd see some kind of bottom in some of these, but it, normally you get people buying these when the market starts turning south. One of the things that has changed, though, is, of course, people wanting to eat more healthy. From Pepsi selling and Coke selling less carbonated drinks to Kellogg's and some of these other selling less processed cereal. This may be a bigger theme on the ladder, i.e. that we've got that taste changing for what they're selling. And this thing's been moving down. Some of the other Procter & Gamble, some of the bigger companies that don't have products that are sensitive to that kind of thing seem to be doing a lot better. You don't have a lot of volume out here. I dislike anytime you come down with more energy than you go up on. That almost always connotes that you're going to, at best, have a consolidation instead of a V. So I would probably think that maybe you bounce a little bit and then you come back down, thing goes sideways and you get light volume. That may be a buy on it. Now, that level that we're looking at goes back to this gap. That gap is the gap up on November 23rd of 2015. Did so on 5.2 million shares. So we're kind of coming down. We've got 1.6 million shares so far today. That's not going to be huge. Even if we go back a few days, you had 4 million shares on one of the bigger volume days down. So my guess is that you'd have a pretty good shot around 63, 64, but you may need to bounce a little. It may even get play around 61. But a lot of these stocks that have come down look much more like they are setting up for a move up in September than a move up here in the middle of the summer. So I don't see a lot. This one would need to consolidate before I would look at it as long. You've got that big gap at 63, 64. You got another one down at 61 and a half. I think that 63 is the one this thing's going to, and where it would find very good support. So just don't see a play on it. Way too late to go short this thing. And again, no risk reward to go long here yet either. Okay, I want to look at the GDX real quick. GDX. See if we see anything here in the charts. We talked about this one for a while, being one of those ones that I wanted to see this thing really kind of bust out the wrong way on a asymmetric, a triangle pattern. In fact, let's bring that up real quick. Where's it at here? Okay. Let's look at this a little closer, and I will draw the lines on it. I got enough time here, just a few minutes. This thing kind of looks like it's starting to bust out from the downside, and that's kind of what you're looking for out here. So again, I hated this one at about when gold was about 1250. I wanted this thing to either break higher or break lower, and this is more of a sign of it breaking lower out of the range. And a lot of times a good time to buy is you get maybe 2/3 into that triangle and looks pretty good. We'll talk more about this tomorrow, but kind of an interesting pattern in the triangle there. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to, and we will see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.